Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. We had a brief little interruption, little glitch there, but hopefully everyone is able to jump back on and join in with us. Our hot topic today, know your worth and then add tax. Again, join us on PowerPlayRadioNetwork.com and select Power TV to view us without any interruptions, hear all the songs and everything. And you may also view us on Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter page at My Sister's Keeper. So we just want to dive back in again before we took a break. We were speaking on knowing your worth and adding tax. Ladies, please feel free to join us on Facebook Live. Drop your comments. We will address your comments there. In regards to knowing your worth, it kind of gotten into discussion already last week, just about taking the time to know you, to know self, slowing down, and I know personally for me, it takes slowing down and just kind of asking yourself, or us women in general, outside of being a mother, a wife, a sister, lover, and all these things, all these hats that you wear, who am I, really? Get to yourself. I know a lot of times take the time to listen to the silence. That's what I say. Get somewhere and be quiet. Separate yourself from all of this stuff. If it takes when the kids I take any time I can. If the kid is gone to practice, wherever if it just takes me to come in the house and sit down for 30 minutes with no radio, no cell phone, no television, no nothing. And just if you just sit there and think, just the day's events will play through my head. What could I have done differently? Right. What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do differently to make tomorrow better? And just in various situations, just again getting somewhere and listen to that silence. You can let your inner thoughts flow. You can pray. You can meditate. Speak affirmations to yourself. You pray and actually pray and listen to God and what He's speaking back to you. But you can't hear it all over all the hustle and bustle and everything that's going on. So everything is just kind of, you're trying to get there fast. You got to go to work. You got to pick the kids up. You got to get to practice after school. I got to be at this business meeting at such and such a time. And everything is time. When is it time for you to take that time to know yourself? And I also believe in order to know your worth, you got to constantly take that time to self-assess. What are my faults? What am I good at? What can I improve upon? What did I do wrong? Am I a good friend? Am I good, as I think I am? Taking the time to realize, that you can't live in this self-improvement. You can't live to please others. You're not living to please or impress others. Knowing yourself and then adding that tax, well, you think about what the definition of tax is. It's that extra. It's the contribution. It's that add on to. It's that change that gives extra value. So that's what knowing your worth and adding tax is. It's taking the time to know and define yourself, who you are, and then add that extra value. Instead that appeal. But you do it for yourself. That's the thing. Oftentimes we're kind of, living in the sight of others. Well, what do they want me to be? I have this friend, and she's like, this could be your best friend. You don't have to be what she is. You don't have to be where she is in life. Right. Now, if she's going to be less of a friend to you, then you need to reassess what kind of friendship y'all have.
Absolutely.
So defining who you are, not accepting anything less than that. One may say it's conceited or selfish or whatnot, but you have to do it for you. It's letting your energy and your confidence, your attitude speak for itself. And we're talking about tax, so letting that be that currency that others will transact with. So to me, that's that tax.
So when we talk about that tax and that currency, we'd like to hear from some of you. I know before we left, Teresa, you had posted a lot of stuff. And one of the things Teresa said was that, you give and you give and you give till there's no more tax to give. There's no more tax.
There's consequences to that. Breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
failed health, mental instability.
Yep. But what does the freight, to the listening audience, what does the freight tax mean to you? When you hear us talking about tax, we've defined it according to our world and our environment and our perception. But what does adding tax to you, what does that mean? What does it mean to you? And does it make you better than anyone else? Because when Deandra started, or when Dee started earlier, she said, your tax is your confidence. Your tax is knowing who you are. That you can walk into a room, and just because your presence commands the attention doesn't make you better. It's just that your confidence in the aura that you put out in there lets them know that this is someone, almost like E.F. Hutton. When he spoke, what? Everybody listened. So what does it mean to you? So we're just going to pause a minute and ask the listening audience. You can call in, or you can post it on Facebook Live. What does tax mean to you? Adding tax mean to you? And then when you add your tax, are you better than everybody else? And you can call us at 469-996-0804. We're just going to pause for a minute and let you chime in. Teresa Holmes said, I took care of my daughter. She was 16, passed with lupus. My sister passed with Hep C, and my mom passed with cancer. I have my great aunt, 88, no legs. I take care of. It's been rough road, but God, hold on, gets me through. So you think about that. You know, when you hear Teresa saying, all of us, what do we instantly do? Oh. But who's replenishing her? Who's making sure she doesn't go to the clearance rack? Who's making sure that she doesn't end up being discounted? Because you're given, and that's not my friend, that's not my boyfriend, that's not my husband, that's not the lady at work. These are people that we automatically feel obligated to.
Right.
That we don't have a choice.
Right.
And the circumstances didn't allow her to have a choice. Now we don't know what support system she had. And Michelle, Teresa, if you want to call in, we would love to chat with you. But by nature, she was just, law of life said she's going to discount.
Yeah.
So how do we replenish?
And so, again, I guess that's why. Well, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to join together, so that we could empower women. That we all have stories that, that are similar to that, to where we put ourselves on the back burner to take care of someone else. And death is a hard thing. When we lose people, we lose pieces of ourselves. And we know that to be true. And so one thing we were talking about was that sometimes we look at death as the end, but it's really at what point do I pull myself together and say, I'm still here, I still have a purpose. We look at the final, and depending on, again, your faith of being able to see them again, being able to, to understand that biblically. But, I'll say this, when you're going through, biblical is sometimes the last thing and the furthest thing from our minds of what we're saying. Is not that we've denounced anything that we believe, it's just that our carnal nature has told us that something has been removed from it, and it's not fair, it's not right, and in all essence, it's not. There's nothing you can do to bring it back and can fix it. But one of the things I kept looking at was, I was just trying to experience how to wrap my mind around death, and what was I losing in the sense. And a lot of it was going back to control. Because you play that piece over and over. What could you have done to make sure that situation never happened? It's not that you lost the person. It's what could I have done to have prevented that situation from happening? You can't, but you live with it. It's
Right.
one of those things that it's just a looping effect that always comes back of, what could I have
You
done?
can make yourself sick.
But how much are you costing yourself by looping?
Exactly. So the moment I go in and I've seen so many people deal with it in different ways, but it's how do you come out of the situations and still regain who you are. And so, Teresa, she said you're saying it very well. It's one of those things that this was my purpose. This was my life. I can't change it. But what I can do is be the voice for other people who go through it. What I can say is that if I sit down with just what my struggle was, I'm no benefit to anyone else.
Right.
See, just by her telling her testimony right there, when Teresa just chimed in, it's one of those things that sometimes people have to be reminded that what I'm looking at is probably still not as bad as what somebody else is looking at. But I will say, your struggle is your struggle, because you're not going to get more than you can bear. And so when people look at us, they say, oh, you're strong because you came through this, you came through that, you came through this. And so I see Willie is on the line, and one thing I always said, I said, why is it that I've been given, why was I given a task to be the strong one? Why was I given a task to carry so much? And he said, he had to tell me, he was like, but if it wasn't you, then who else would it be?
Why not you?
Why not you?
That's
He said,
right.
you're looking at it wrong. You're minimizing and you're allowing others to minimize what you've been through because they can't relate. It's not their story to tell. So don't allow them to take away your voice. Don't allow them to take away your journey, because it was you who was presented
Right.
with the journey.
But we look at Teresa's situation. But let's bring it close to home to reality. Let's talk about your kids.
They will drain you.
But why do we
but
allow
you-
them?
If you let them, I think if you let them, not until after the kids are grown and after I'm divorced. I was talking to my ex-mother-in-law on a visit home not long ago, and it was something simple that my youngest son had to do, but he didn't know how to do it. And or he was acting like he didn't know how to do it, or maybe he just really didn't know how to do it. And so my ex-mother-in-law looks at me, she said, do anybody that lived in the house with you know how to do anything? Because they call you for everything.
Wow.
And she said, I noticed they still call you for everything. Like, you're no longer in the situation, but they're like, well, we got to call Mom, we got to call Danita.
But is that an unhealthy need? Like, at what point do you say, you draw the line and say, I'm being a mom, versus how is it become unhealthy to where you're okay with them being dependent on you?
No, ma'am.
I think after I've told you 2 times, now come on, you're an adult.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's teachable moments in this
Exactly.
world now, because you are an adult,
Mhm.
and it's not that I didn't show you how to do it. A lot of times you're in that mode. Let me just do it myself, and so that's probably a lot of what happened, because they knew I would just do it myself if they didn't do it, or if they couldn't, whatever the case may be. They really are dependent, but I always now redirect them. These are the resources. This is what you need to do. This is how you
sound
do
Willie.
Like he said, what point? He said, I said, what point should you cut?
Cut off, he said,
He said, the
from
point
time you give birth.
No, oh really? Okay, we won't bring you in. We'll have you call in if you want to say it like that. Don't give these women, have them jump on you, because you already know you'll be the first one on here talking about, I want to cut them, but I still gotta do it.
So yeah, it you learn and you grow, and after I've learned and grown, I'm no longer. You can't just call. They still call,
Right.
but they get a very different response now.
But you have to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Some women
It took
really are
time.
dependent on that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
the only way you can be needed is if you are giving back something. Like, they need me to come do it. I gotta go to the church.
That's
I gotta
their
go.
worth.
I gotta pick them up. So that's their only way. Their
their worth.
connection of their worth. Not understanding that, and that's what I was about to say before we went to break. Was that knowing your text is not always saying yes. Knowing, adding tax, knowing your worth, adding tax is not always saying yes. At some point, there has to be a firm no. In that.
A firm
It's
no.
a firm no.
And
you know
that's
what?
not being selfish.
it's not. It's a struggle. Like when you first do it, I mean, you know, you like no.
Somebody else might
And
be
you
like,
backtrack and be like, well, I can do this much. No.
But I can't.
Don't
No.
backtrack at all. Be like, nope, I can't
No.
come. Nope, I'm not doing it.
So what message are you sending? What message are you sending when you backtrack? You know, I feel like I just the generation that's growing up now, they're the show me generation. You know, they say so many things to where you have to show them. You know, it seems like at any moment, you know, I always say, you ready to die today? Because the moment I say no, there's always something else. You're challenging it. You have something else to say. You want to step back, and you know, or you're going to change your mind. And so, but what I've noticed is that a lot of mothers and fathers in the situation change their minds. And it's because sometimes I look at it, maybe we don't want our kids to have what we didn't have, so we're fighting so hard to make sure they did have. Yes. But are we preparing them the right way as to how did we come through, how did we rise up to get to where we are? Because again, there was struggle. There were things we didn't have. So are we preparing them, or are they pretty much like, it's going to be there. It's already made. Yes. They're the microwave
and we give them
generation.
the power. We give them the power.
Just push start.
Because all you kid keep doing is, Mama, can I go outside? Mama, can I go outside? By my time, my head been plastered against the wall. But what do we do?
One more time.
Go outside and get outside.
I'm sick of you asking me. Yeah.
Let's go. But we give them power because it starts out with the temper tantrum with the baby bottle. Then it goes from, I want to wear certain shoes. Then it goes to, I want my hair this way. Then it goes to teenage. I want an earring. I want a tattoo.
Right. What? Right.
Where did they even get the power to even feel that they can even come to me and say, I want an earring and a tattoo?
Because we prepared that. That's what I'm saying. It's things that we didn't realize that we were doing, that we were creating as they got older. Right. And so those are things, again, that gave us, but I mean, sometimes we say they get on our nerves, but at the same time, it was satisfaction for us instead of teaching the right way of, let me explain to you why I said no.
Right.
You know, some people say, I said no because I'm the parent, and that's it.
I'm grown.
I'm grown. You don't question. No question. You know, but I don't think that helped either. I think it left them with more questions or either more reasons to ask. Like, that's crazy. I'm gonna keep asking. But these are things.
Right. That makes me think about my daughter. I know she has to hate me because everything like that has a history lesson. Now you remember, you know, when I used to go to high school. Let me tell you what we did. Because see, we didn't do. See, I didn't have no car till I was in college. You understand? Like everything.
I had to walk a mile and a half.
No, but yeah, back in my day, we had no feet. Like what?
So she just be like, forget it. She just shake. She was like, forget it. Never mind. She know it don't come.
But those are things that take. I mean, but then think about it though. And so the things that we thought we were doing, by the way, to get out of something at the time came back to be a detriment to us still in the long run, which still put us back in the situation to make a decision whether or not we were going to be dependent, give them back that dependency on us, or were we going to allow them to be independent. And so this, you know, as women, like I said, mothers, I talk to a lot of mothers, and well, there's you know, some people may say I'm a hard mother. It's fine, but I've met mothers who, what quote unquote, go hard. And so, you know, it's even in looking at them you have the most passive mother to the most aggressive mother. At any day, we're still mothers, and it's something about how a child says things or how your spouse may say things that still push you back into the yes land. And so then you find yourself doing something, but what I've learned is sometimes when you've been pushed and when you really want to say no, you resent it the whole time. And so you have most women who walking around with an attitude or who just shut down and get quiet. And so if the family walks in and says, what's wrong with you? So it doesn't matter how, you know what I'm saying, you're going to always be wrong. You know, if you say, well, let me just shut up and just watch them. You're not talking to us, what's wrong with you? If you start fussing at them, why are you always fussing? What's wrong with you? If you just say, hey, y'all are the best family ever, thank you. What's wrong with you? If you haven't realized, ladies, that you're going to always be wrong, then figure out who you want to be and how you want to lead the situation. Because, see, you have to take back pieces of you. You know, let's go back into work. If we move into work, it's one of those things of, okay, we're in a situation where they're always saying, they're asking us to do something. Can you come work on Saturday? Can you stay a little bit later? Can I turn my lesson plan in a little later? It's just like, well, I mean, at what point is a no? And so the moment you step, put your foot down, then you're labeled as the B. You're labeled as the evil person. You're labeled as, the whip. And you're like, well, why does she have to act like that? All I asked for was, and you're looking at, well, why can't y'all just do what you were asked to do in the first place?
Correct.
Right.
And so we always find ourselves in a situation where I'm stressed, and I don't use stress, I won't say stress, but I'm under pressure when I have to do the job that I'm given and also still be the nurturer and the humanistic side. I mean, some women got it down to where you better not ask them nothing because you already know, Elonda, that you're not going to get it, and you may be excellent out to the house and to go home and change, and you're not coming here with it today. But you're following policy. Anybody that works for Elonda out there want to call me?
Wanda, you better not say nothing.
She's our corporate lady. So,
because there's a certain type of behavior that should be brought into corporate America, and because the dysfunction starts in the education system and the bad habits are allowed and they are given control, then they come to corporate America, and then I have to reconstruct and break down and rebuild because they don't understand that 1 minute late is late.
The corporate executive is talking.
Listen now, listen.
So go ahead and give them that number as we go out.
It's time for a break.
It's time for a break, you guys. And when we return, we'll continue a little bit on this topic and also have our good read. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to My Sister's Keeper. That's M-I-Y. That's my whole beginning. They didn't know where I was going. M-I-Y.
Trying to go solo.
Okay, baby Ruffin.
Baby Ruffin.
I just want to be Bobby Brown. Queen of the radio.
My last name.
No, so My Sister's Keeper. SiSSTa'S. Yes.
Get my wife.
Speak life into someone so they achieve success. Sisters Keeper. So we're back, and we told you we're waiting, Willie Hill, for you to go ahead and call in so that we can really talk to you. And you have the number in the chat room. So shout out to everyone who's joining us right now. We see you. We thank you for tuning in to My Sister's Keeper. We're at the top of the hour, and we told you when we come back we were going to give you a good read. So here's the read of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, check your breast. Yes, in tribute to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and as a survivor myself, if you can see my shirt, I have my survivor shirt.
I'm a survivor.
Instead of reading a book, it really is. This is the book. The book is called Life. And so the moment that you put yourself in a situation where you can no longer be in control of how you govern your life, don't allow opportunities like this of being able to check your breast or going to the doctor for anything that you see that is abnormal prevent you from living the best life possible. So usually during this segment each week we would recommend a book for you to guide you as your growth as a woman and as a gentleman who are you if you're tuning in. But this week we have a clip from yours truly. And I wanted to go through and just revisit this. It was 2 years ago, and how I discovered my lump and how I dealt with my initial diagnosis. So let's watch.
Do we need tissue?
Did it freeze up again?
In a world filled with technology, Spectrum delivers. With superior HD picture and sound and the fastest internet starting speeds for the price. Plus, Spectrum Voice lets you talk all you want with unlimited nationwide calling. Spectrum TV, internet, and voice. $29.99 per month each.
The power of pink will be felt this weekend. Chip rocking his pink. We got Larry, the floor director, rocking his pink. The 33rd Coming Dallas Race for the Cure gets started in about 24 hours. That's why they're wearing the pink. It's tomorrow morning at North Park. DeAndrea Fleming is one of thousands of breast cancer survivors who's going to be taking part in the race, and she joins us this morning. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Dan.
Now, you were diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 34. And your story is kind of the reason why there's a debate about what age someone should get a mammogram. You felt a lump, you knew something wasn't right, and you wanted a mammogram right away then, right?
I wanted it right away. And so when I found my lump, I went to my doctor. We had pushback from the insurance company, but my doctor stayed on top of it, and I was able to get my mammogram and biopsy and continue with my procedure.
Yeah, I mean, because I've heard so many stories like yours. I had my first mammogram right after my daughter was born, and I just didn't want to take any chances. The American Cancer Society says basically from 40 on that women should get mammograms, but some insurance companies, you know, some agree with that, some don't, some think it should be later. What do you say to your friends, or what do you say to your loved ones when they're trying to decide when they should get one?
If they feel the lump, if they find a lump, if they even think it's a lump, I think they should go to the doctor immediately, seek help, find out early. Early detection is the only way. I wouldn't be here today if I did not find my lump. So I thank God that I'm able to be a testimony to my family, friends, that I am a survivor because I found it early.
Yeah, and Susan G. Komen in Dallas County really made a difference in your life. We're looking at a photo. You're a single mother. You got two great kids. You're working for the Fort Worth ISD. And Komen really stepped in to help you out with some of the costs, right?
Yes, with the insurance, my prescriptions before my chemo treatments were still costly. And so I contacted the Coleman Foundation, and they put me in touch with programs that help pretty much pay for every prescription I had during my chemotherapy and radiation treatments.
Wow, nice to see. And what I think is so great is that the money raised in our area, it stays in our area. So it is the women and also men that are really benefiting from this money, and also the research, because it seems like every year we're getting closer and closer and things are getting better and better. We still don't have a cure. We still have a lot of questions about cancer, but it's just comforting to know that great strides are being made every day.
I'm so excited about it. That's why I love coming to the race every year. It just reminds me of unity and connectedness, that a tragedy could bring us together for one purpose. And so I'm honored to pay homage to those that we've lost, and I love to celebrate with those who are surviving. So I'm looking forward to the race tomorrow.
Well, can't wait to see you out there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Lauren.
The Komen Dallas Race for the Cure starts tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. You can register on site at North Park. We have a link with all the details on fox4news.com. I'll be out there. Stop by, say hi.
Okay. The TV got excited too. So again, that was 2 years ago when I was asked to be the ambassador for the DeSoto area. One of the reasons why they selected me is because they were saying that 3 out of 4 women that came from the 75115 area code were diagnosed at stage 3 or 4 cancer. And they wanted to make sure that they had people there that were representatives for one, the population and demographics in DeSoto, but also someone who could speak to survivorship, and that if, early detection can always save your life. And again, like you saw in the video, I found my lump early. I did not play with it, and I made the best choice that I thought was going to be for the best choice for my family and for myself during that time. And so I was just so blessed to have a support group, and just I tell anyone, if you could give anything to anyone who's going through something that could be terminal or life-threatening, the fight it's 90% mental. It's 90% mental, and it's 10% of the medicine, the people around you. But if you have the support group, you can push through. But they have to have the will to fight through it. Mm-hmm. So again, the Susan Komen Walk is coming up October 28th. This year, if you lost a relative or if you lost someone close to you due to this disease, then again, it's always fighting back with either being able to be around people who are celebrating survivorship, or just being able to pay tribute to them and making sure that, again, we find a cure, or you seek out those holistic things that are out there. I'm going to say this on radio, that may sometimes shut down big pharmaceutical companies. But again, you have to make decisions that are going to be best for your life. But understand, I will say this first and foremost: research everything that may be out there that can help aid in that expansion of life. But the best thing is, again, adding tax. Don't allow people to stress you out. Don't allow people to bring you down. And don't allow people to continue to take away from you instead of adding value to you. So adding tax with that. So now let's dive back into our Love Under Management Chronicle entitled Know Your Worth, Then Add Tax. So now we have a couple of quotes that we read every show. So our first quote says, confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air and thinking you are better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone else in the first place. One more time. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air and thinking you are better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone else in the first place. And our second quote is, you don't find your worth in a man. You find your worth within yourself, and then find a man who's worthy of you. Remember that. You don't find your worth in a man. You find your worth within yourself, and then find a man who's worthy of you. So, ladies, looking at those quotes, you can let's talk about it. When did you add tax, and how did you know you could add tax? When did you add tax, and how did you know you could add tax?
I think for me, here I go with my corporate mind. I think mine was actually as I elevated in corporate America, because as we all know that, women have to prove themselves harder in a male-dominating environment. And I think when I was able to walk into a room with majority men and be able to relay my message, and it was received without a million and one questions of, that can't be done, how can it be done? I think that actually allowed me to see that I was adding tax to myself because my voice was being heard, but not just heard, more importantly respected by men who, and I'll just say it, that had lineage, that it was a male-dominating environment, that women were supposed to take a back seat. You work in the backgrounds, you do the project, but I'm going to present it for you. And I'll tap you on the shoulder behind the doors, but I'm going to take the credit for it publicly. So when the roles reversed, then I knew that I was adding tax to myself. I think in my personal life, as I add tax, was as I began to see the transition of myself go from it came the maturity level. The maturity level of your life, how you handle situations, how you looking, you have to take that side and breathe and find a refrigerator and go put your head in instead of just going off so you can just get your words across. But I think that for me, that's when I began to add text, because it builds it's almost like a sense of accomplishment, but it also, it gives you that little bit of empowerment of that specific subject or that particular situation, that you are now empowered because you have your communication has been well received. So
I think for me, I guess, and kind of as it relates to in the workplace or social settings, like this first quote speaks to when walking in the room with your nose in the air, think you're better than everyone else. I think because we spoke about this before, that was something that I would commonly hear, especially in the workplace, after people get to know me and feel a little more comfortable with expressing their thoughts. And, oh, hey, we thought you were this and we thought you were that. Well, why? Because I didn't come in the room and lay my life out on the table for everybody, my life story, my business, what people tend to do sometimes in the workplace. And, there's a place and a time for those kind of things. So, being in a situation where when it's time for me to prove what I know or what I can do to the appropriate person, that's what I do. It's not for me to prove myself to you or to the one that sits over here on the other side of the wall or anything else. When it's time for me to do what I need to do and speak what I know, then that's what I do. So, and then having that confidence and knowing that I know what I know, and I know I do what I say I'm going to do, and I execute as I need be, and being comfortable with that, not worrying what you have to say, and also being an example, being comfortable with being that example when I need be. And then in personal relationship wise, I think because I'm getting hot. I'm still getting hot.
She's talking about that was a hot topic.
Yeah, that's a hot topic. Hot on the spot. That's what I feel like. I'm in a hot seat right now. But no, when you can say, hey, and it doesn't have to be a violent domestic situation, but hey, knowing not that I'm better than you, but I'm better than this.
That makes it, yeah.
that's a difference.
In relationship wise, I'm better than this. Saying I deserve more than this. I've worked too hard to sit down and settle for this and accept this and be complacent. So when I was able to actually get over that hurdle and say that, then that's when I feel, in personal and relationship wise, that's when I feel that I added that text to myself to say, does this me thinking this way? Because then I battle, does me thinking this way would that mean that I'm better than this person or this man or this person? Am I better than them? Not really. I mean, let's be honest. I might have some of these same hood tendencies that you have. Do I go out in public and does everybody know that?
There's a time and a place.
No.
That's it. That's
But
the
when you go
difference.
out, that's all everybody sees. They look at you like, oh, you with him? She with you? So, hey, that's true. So, but then,
That is a very real.
but y'all get what I'm saying, gotta read between the lines. just
There's a
little
time
bit.
and a
But look,
place.
this is what Willie said to add on. He said, now you all are talking about taxes from the way they are talking about it. It's a tax refund because it's helping them get to where they need to be. So that's called a refund
There
tax.
And then
go.
he said taxes is something you pay out, not take in.
All right, Willie, I like that.
So, but that goes back to what are you taking in though? So again, when we say ad tax, is what you're taking in, but for them, if they're actually receiving the monetary value or some type of value that they can walk away in and show somebody they came up with. But guess what, Willie? You only come up with it for 30 days because we know after 30 days, the repo man is after you.
Project versus reject.
There we go.
Project versus reject.
When the people get their taxes, we all know it's tax time, but
It's
guess what
income tax
happens?
season.
It's a short term time. Because either we've given everything we have for this one little thing that we can say, oh, we have it, a car, i.e. a car, and guess what? A couple of months after that, it's being what?
So we talk about that project versus reject, remember? And then after a while, the representative leaves. So when income tax refund is gone,
What you left with?
What you left with?
the real you
So you really, because you had nothing. You still had that data, that check to check, living the check to check. So the
Check
woman
to
that you
check, check to
have,
disconnect.
again, that the value was in, the value
check
of the
to
tax refund is in the job or in making the babies or in
oh.
having the job or the business write-off expenses. So, that's really where
it's what you put in.
it's what you get out what you put in.
But if I'm manipulating the system or I'm deceiving the system to actually get a tax,
Then one day you could be audited.
and when you audited, you found out who you really are, and the truth comes out and you exposed, and guess
You have
what?
to pay the piper. But some people are okay with paying that. Some people are
Because you
okay
didn't
with
have-
being an independent woman with going home every day.
But how you gonna pay
and saying,
something
"I'm
when you
just
don't
going
have nothing to pay it with?
Well, and that's where we end up using what? We pay it. We pay it in our time. We pay it in our energy. We pay it in our bodies. And so,
That's what really.
It's called a payment plan.
Did you say a payment plan?
He said it's called a layaway plan. A layaway. You laying away.
But then we're back to what we said in the beginning. At the end, you do all that. At the end of the day, you have nothing. You're left with nothing. You've exhausted everything, all of yourself.
And so when you're looking at what you're doing for, and I'm saying this because again, being an independent woman, single woman, you look at, okay, what do I want to do? If I don't want to have a man, I don't have to have a man. I can have multiple men to come in and just say, this is when I feel like dealing with you, I'll call you. If I need to hit you at 2 a.m., I'll call you. If I gotta, when I need you, you just need to be accessible. But in the end, it looks good. It probably sounds good. It may even feel good. But see, what women are not being honest about, and probably most men, is that, you can say, oh, the single life is this, but when I get home, I'm by myself. At the end of the day, do I have somebody that's going to comfort me? And some people have tricked themselves into believing that that's the life to live, and it feels good that I have all these men or all these women on standby when I need it. But when I ask you, who can you truly trust?
There's no one, because you can't trust yourself.
Because you can't trust yourself.
And spread yourself all over the place, very thin.
Oh, you said spread yourself all over the place?
Very thin.
Because there's no way that you can give 100% to this one, that one, the other one, and be whole. So by the time you see this one, that one, and the other one, there's nothing really left for you.
4 quarters make $1.
Let's face it, we're getting old. Who's going to keep up with all of that? I'm not trying to keep up with that.
That's why you call everybody babe. You call everybody babe, and you're good. Hey, babe.
Hey,
But
baby girl.
it drains you if you live that kind of lifestyle.
Right, it's draining.
It empties you out, and then it divides you within you.
And so you can have people who out here saying, hey, I like this life. But if given a better opportunity, if they said, hey, if I gave you this one person that was going to ride or die for you, you don't have to worry about them cheating. They're going to always work. They're always going to pull their weight. Then a lot of people would probably jump ship and say, yeah, this is where I want to go. You know, I'm going down this road. Not too many of them going to say, well, no, I'm just going to stay in the short-fisted water and just swim, and whatever eats me bites me, and whatever bites me eats me.
Right.
So, you know, I think going back to what Willie said, you know, just looking at, I like the fact that it is a tax refund on their side, but we just need to understand that it's short term. Mm-hmm. So as a person who knows their worth, when you're adding tax, remember the tax that you're asking for goes on your
refund, your tax return.
It goes right. It goes on your tax return. It goes on your assets. It's listed as an asset. Mm-hmm. So then when you have to pay it out, it's paid out based on how you allocated it to be paid out. So I may say, yes, I want to pay it out, but it may go under Schedule C, and I can write it off versus being something that I have to truly pay for in the long run and pay back that I can't get back. So, you know, ladies, one of those things, you don't find your worth in a man. You find your worth within yourself, and then find a man who's worthy of you. Stop minimizing who you are. Mm-hmm. Stop subtracting from what you're able to give, and stop making allowances and saying it's okay, but, or it's okay because. Again, no one's saying get up and throw away a 10-year relationship. But it's also saying learn to have the right conversations in that 10-year relationship.
Right.
Start speaking up to, these are the things that you need to be fed in the relationship. These are the things that make you whole. And the moment that you can't talk to someone like that in a 10-year relationship, you really have to ask yourself, was this worth my time? And so then, as Willie said, you are giving away a tax refund for the past 10 years. And guess what? They may have stacked their coins and can go on and move on with another person with that $10,000 that you just given them. Mm-hmm. And they become a better person. And that's what we hate. That's what we despise the most. Yes. That when we have somebody and we invest in them, they go to the next and they give them everything that you invested in them, and they become this better person for somebody else.
Yeah.
And we say, well, we make them better. But better for who? Right. So, you know, it's when are you going to make yourself better? When are you going to take all that energy that you were giving someone else and make yourself better? Invest in your career, invest in your life, invest in your health, invest in your body, invest in your mind, and take that time and invest. So if you don't have a journal that you're keeping, if you don't have women that you can talk to say, this is my next journey, and they celebrate you and say, go get it, then you're probably hanging around the wrong people. You're probably not investing the time in yourself to say, this is who I want to become in the long run. So you have to know that you are worth it. And so if you can't look in the mirror and say, I'm worth it every day, then, you know, that's probably the first start. That's going to be
and I think, you know, we've been talking about male-female relationship, but that also talks about your circle of influence.
Right.
I mean, it really does.
You're around.
You know, and I mean, and that just doesn't go, you know, we always tend to leave out family.
Oh.
Some family is just not healthy for you.
Right. They can be the
and that's not a disregard to who they are. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the saying, once you show me who you are, then I'm gonna handle you accordingly. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that's what we fail to do when we come to those that are close to us, that are intimate to us. We forget. So when in the process of just looking at, you know, we talk about it from women because in today's time, relationships are so dysfunctional. And we harvest and we focus on the male-female. Mm-hmm. But then you can bring that down. You can bring that further closer. Let's talk about close girlfriends, homeboys. Why do we have best friends? Because that can be taxing. Why do I have that homeboy? Because of the quantity of time and not the quality of the relationship. Mm-hmm. With family, oh, well, I'm obligated. But are you always obligated? Mm-hmm. If you're the one that's always being called on, are you obligated? Because when do you stop and say, you know what? Yes, for the last 20 years, I've been going by Medea's house, watering the plants, and today I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to go. Why is it hard for us to say I'm not going to go?
Routine.
It's routine, habit. It's what's expected.
But I think it's more content and complacent.
If I don't do it,
I don't have
nobody
to
else will
change.
do it.
Right.
Somebody will do it. It'll get done.
But we
You
said that
stop
about
doing
work.
it.
We said that about work. But let you die. I bet you I'm gonna have a job requisition in next week for your job. Of course.
Tomorrow.
Look, the funeral's on Saturday, but I'm gonna submit this job requisition to replace him, and we're gonna pack up their desk. And but really, we don't look at it that way because we're single-minded focused, and we feel like I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going to. They need me to do it, and that's what it boils down to.
Well, I told you it goes back to they need me. I told you we find complacency in the fact of being needed.
That's
And
a
so
level of comfort.
that's how we build out who we are, and that's our layering. So but I mean, again, don't take this the wrong way, because I always tell women when they say, "Oh, I'm just a teacher, I'm just a mother." No, you're not just that. That's what you are. That's who you are. So when you speak that with confidence. But but on the flip side of it, only you know if you're not okay with just being that. Because sometimes I think when we throw around that I'm just this, it's because there's an insecurity
That's right,
in there
yeah.
that now I have to project that it's not as great as it is, or I just do this, or I just do that. No, until you speak life into yourself and you let yourself know that everything I do is with purpose, you're going to always be waiting for someone to validate who you are. So be proud in what you are. So we're not minimizing anything of where people are in their life and their journey, but know that when you speak with the authority, you speak with the confidence to say, I know who I am, this is what I've chosen. But I meet many women and men too who say, if I had another opportunity, I probably would be doing this. I probably would be doing that, but there's no time for this. There's no time for that. And I keep saying time is an illusion. If you don't wake up tomorrow, time was never there. So how do you conduct your life right here, right now, to say, you know what, I'm going to take pieces of me back, and this is what I expect from other people in return. I'm going to teach you how to love me. I'm going to teach you how to treat me. I'm going to teach you how to interact with me, because I know my worth. I'm adding tax, and the tax is that you need to understand my worth.
But you were just talking, and what I can come up with is, if we stop dreaming the fantasy and live in the reality, we'll be better off. Because so many of us say, for me, I want to retire as a director of service operations. But what's my reality for today?
Well, if you're not in pursuit of getting there, then it always will be the want and the need. But
if I never make it, does it define me as a failure?
Well, absolutely not.
No. But why do we get caught up into that?
Again, I told you, sometimes we attain things for the sake of what people see, what people may say, how to be validated.
Those that say you look like a preacher, an evangelist, and a prophet.
Right.
I mean, that's common. I'm not downplaying that, but because you speak well or you have that certain tone, the emotional side of the flesh says, "Oh, this person should be this." And why do we get to that? So hold that thought, think about that, and we will be right back with, is it time for sipping and spilling? Oh no, it's talk about the action plan. It's me. Y'all, I'm just off today on time. So stay with us. Hold, please. Those who are on Facebook, we'll go blank for a few minutes, but we'll be right back. Please don't leave. Go to the restroom, take a potty break, come back, get a glass of water or wine, and come back and finish with us out with My Sister's Keeper. SiSSTA'S. Yes.
My Sister's Keeper, that is SiSSTA'S. Yes.
So, we want to give a few shout outs to everyone that's on listening tonight. We thank you so much. To those who just tuning in, our topic tonight is Know Your Worth, Then Add Tax. So, shout out to Lisa who just came in. Before we went to break, Milton said, deal with reality or reality will deal with you.
Amen.
And so, if you have to live a little longer, as the elders say, keep on living.
You'll learn.
You'll learn. It'll learn you. So,
Something really good.
and so to Teresa, we see you. Stay encouraged, my sister. We are your keeper. That is why we do this show. To all our women out there, and especially to our men. We have a lot of men on tonight. Again, we talked about going to get checked, breast cancer, get checked for breast cancer to women and men. Men, yes, you can get breast cancer. So do your monthly checks. If you feel something, think it's something, go get checked. And going back to the men that are on, some of the things we talked about, it will always apply across the board. Never feel ashamed. We want many of you, more of you to come on and to give us your perspective, your point of view, again, because it's always encouraged. We see those of you who are coming on, Tamika, Mika, Novi, Dante, Mike, and to all the people who've been on all our show. We are here on first and third Mondays from 7 to 9 on PowerPlayRadioNetwork.com. You can click on Power TV and watch us live from there, or you can catch us right where you are now, and that is on Facebook Live. And so going back to our topic.
Do us a favor, listeners, those that are on Facebook Live, tell us where you are, what state, what city you're in. We just like to know, just out of curiosity.
Where you from? Where you from? Where you from?
Hey, look at here.
Was y'all cheerleaders or something?
So again, the topic is Know Your Worth, Then Add Tax. So we thank you for tuning in. If you're coming in, just kind of let us know where you are and where you're from. Unfortunately, we're at the bottom of our hour now, so we're coming back in. Lonnie B is going to talk to you about our...
Who is?
Lonnie B.
Okay.
We got Lisa Winfield Green from Lancaster, aka Lancaster.
Tamikia's from.
Where's Mike from?
We got Mike Wesley. He said he's from D-Town.
D-Town.
Okay, Tamika, Ennis, Texas, but
Yes.
Oak Cliff
That's
born
my
and
house.
raised.
Born in
All
OC.
right.
She said Oak Cliff Ray. She didn't say born.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I just added that in there. Sure.
I'll throw that in there.
Hey, Wanda G. Hey, Wanda
I'll throw that in there.
Wanda from Arlington.
So yes, we thank you. We love you. We thank you for tuning in. We can only go up from here. Again, just we're here to encourage you. We're here to speak truth. We're here to give you our perspectives and just a little testimony in our lives. And so again, it's not for everyone to agree with, but again, it is our reality. It is our truths, and so we speak from our truths. And we also encourage you
To share
your truths. So that's why we're here. And we have an action plan that we encourage everyone else
By
to
Lonnie B.
By Lonnie B.
Action
Y'all, if that is not country,
Action
as a
plan.
sugar sandwich, I tell you it is. Good night.
Country
That is
and
a
Sugar sandwich. Tell me you ain't never had a sugar sandwich.
I have never had a sugar sandwich.
Who's on there that had a sugar sandwich?
I had
Girl Rabbit syrup
I had a
sandwich.
syrup and bologna sandwich.
Mayonnaise.
That fried bologna with that syrup in the middle of the bush.
Did y'all see my post?
That's good eating. She said in the middle. That's good eating. Yeah. What y'all drinking? Mike said, what y'all drinking? Big water. Red.
Wanda, when you become the director, don't forget your number one assistant. Wanda, sit down somewhere. Y'all, actually, Wanda was my assistant and she retired, so now I'm trying to bring her back.
Oh, so she said put her back in. Put her back in the game.
Put me in,
We
coach.
ready. Put her in.
We gonna do something. So that means I'm not a bad boss. She wants to come back.
Uh-oh.
No one says you were a bad boss.
She was business.
We just said you were
straight business.
straight
I
business.
am not. Some days.
I'm I believe she's straight business.
So-
I've
so-
worked with her before. I just know.
By the way,
Could she be that boss to get that money away?
to get that money away.
You know that show with them bosses get that money away?
Yeah, I am a weakling for that. You give me a sob story. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll give you two pennies. With a bus transfer.
So you know, if you walk into the room and you're interviewing with her, you just know that
You know what?
or it's not gonna work.
Dee, I know you're not the one to talk about interview process. Baby, did you mean to wear that today?
The action plan.
Oh, okay. The
I love it.
Okay, so y'all, let me talk about the action plan. Y'all notice they take all the fun stuff and then they give me the action plan. So the action plan is actually what we ask you from everything that you've heard us talk about today and you saw others share on Facebook Live, that you take it away and you meditate, you journal it, you actually comment on it. Even after we leave the show, we're still posting every day on our Facebook page. So please join in. If you want to join our Facebook group, it's a closed group. Please do. That's where we share. And we share those intimate conversations with each other. So please feel free after tonight. Please come by and see us. You know, every now and then. You know, we're here on the first and the third Monday. So let's talk about this action plan. So, why y'all laughing at me?
Come on. You got a little emotional there.
Did you heard the tremble in my voice?
You already know what happened.
Oh, I'm fat. I'm out of breath. What else you want me to say? I'm out of breath. I wasn't ready. Hey, you told me to own my ish a few weeks ago.
Oh, you're doing.
I need to lose a few.
You know, I want to talk about that.
And then we had that good old sloppy Joe. That fabulous sloppy Joe. So I don't know why y'all tripping over here. Got water and sloppy Joe. I'm fat, full, and fine. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be about this action plan. Okay, so let me, okay, look. Okay, so I done told y'all what the action plan was, so let's really just talk about it. What camera am I on? Oh, over here. Okay, so the action plan is, like I said, for you to actually take away, chime in on the answers, reply to the questions that we post tonight on our Facebook page. We do interact. We post daily. We're always on it daily. That's not that we're Facebook junkies, but we have an obligation to you all as being your sister's keeper. So, but one of the things that I would like to leave you with, and this was my thought. Oh, I gotta catch my breath. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready. So.
She full and fine, y'all.
Fat, full, and fine.
I didn't want to say that. That's not my place.
Okay, I'm pleasantly plump.
Please don't feed us before the show is over. It's not good at all.
Okay, y'all. Okay, hold on. Okay, so each one of us can identify what is wrong with us with no problem, but we struggle to identify what is right and what we do well. When we finally do identify those things which define our self-worth, there comes an inner joy which cannot be explained. What we did know was that as we began to figure out what we want in life, there would be obstacles, and that when they came, we have to remember not to let anyone or anything discourage us from continuing on. We must believe in ourselves and believe in our decisions. Remember, life does not come with a rule book or deadlines for our accomplishments, but it does come with choices. Oh, I didn't get out of breath. Yes! Okay.
So Milton Williams distracted me with this cereal sandwich. I'm serious.
Everything but a meat
Action plan, and I'm looking at
He called it everything but meat sandwich. That's what it is. Cereal sandwiches.
So he didn't have cereal. Now, how do you have cereal sandwich?
You get some Captain Crunch, you spread it on some white bread, put it together, crunch. There's a slice of meat in there. Yeah. There was another Captain Crunch on cereal.
Milton, for real.
Cereal sandwiches. He said he was driving, but y'all didn't call his attention.
But he said cereal sandwich. I've never heard that one.
You know, but,
I ain't heard
you know,
of it.
but looking at what
I've
you
heard
said,
of all these things,
she
but
said, no. But you know, when you said that life doesn't come with a rule book or deadlines for our accomplishments, and so again, the only deadline that you have is the one you set against yourself and you set for yourself. But when you're doing it for the sake of validation from others, remember, life will always happen. One thing he said, reality will teach you. So have your plan. What God say, have your plan and I'll laugh.
Follow his plan.
So again, there's a lot of things that I had planned for my life and still have planned for my life. But what I've learned in the midst of knowing my worth is that as long as I'm walking in my purpose and I'm being obedient to the path that was given to me, that my path will always be directed, and that whatever value comes back is because I have duly earned it.
That's all right.
They say you know about that.
They going in over here.
D telling us. D not telling us something. D, you didn't have a cereal sandwich?
Look, that's my first cousin.
That's your cousin.
And if anybody knows, she knows. I eat cereal sandwiches and jelly sandwiches.
Oh.
It's the best ever. You toast it up, put it on there, and if you don't toast it, just eat it. Let the jelly fall off the bottom of it. Scoop it up, keep it eating. Yeah, act like, oh.
How many of those you have to eat to get
Well,
full?
maybe that's not too
She gonna be high on cereal sandwiches. No.
I'm sorry, we didn't have all those ramen noodles and everything else to eat.
We didn't have
And
ramen
then you get
noodles.
caught eating cereal after breakfast time, you in trouble, so you had to sneak and put that cereal on the
We
sandwich.
had Burr Rabbit served
and bologna.
sandwiches.
I don't know what the heck.
You never had
Burr Rabbit served?
It's the big syrup.
Yes, it's better than molasses.
I don't know
off of
that.
that.
Eat a South sandwich. If
St.
you,
Louis.
So you're not poor.
so you didn't eat hog and cheese? No summer sausage? No red cheese? You ate summer sausage?
Summer sausage.
With the ring or without? Oh, you took it right. You got to pull the ring. It's the only way. You have to pull the ring off.
You had to think about that. You sure?
I was like,
You know, you go to the packing house. You go to the packing house on Malcolm X and get refresh your memory.
Milton said her sandwiches. Eat them. Her sandwiches. Just pull it and just eat it.
Open your mouth.
You
Whatever
get
comes in,
it.
that's what you got.
one thing we had in our house was groceries. We might not have had nothing else, but we had some groceries.
Everybody.
It was just me and Mom.
We knew it was payday when that cured ham came home.
That square ham.
Yes.
And sometimes when they put it up, you will find yourself slicing a big block yourself. Like, who's gonna eat this?
Yeah.
If I have all the peppers in it.
We had, it was a lot of didn't have, but groceries wasn't one of them.
Hey DeMarco, hey Jaslyn, thanks for tuning in.
Hey,
we
DeMarco.
we had a flashback, you know.
Yeah.
Milton started us on the flashback way for
With his cereal
eating the
sandwich.
cereal sandwiches and the earth sandwiches. So, you know, if y'all had a sandwich out there that you like, go ahead and type that in the box as well. So, shout out to your sandwich.
DeMarco King, I know you ate that bologna sandwich with that syrup. I know you did, DeMarco.
With the
He had it with
bologna.
mustard, and it was burnt on the edges.
But you had to take the ring off, didn't you?
You had to take the ring off.
We did.
Why she trying to chew into my
Did y'all call it bologna or bologna?
Bologna!
Oh, okay. You know something.
It's no, that would no.
Did you have a government cheese?
No.
What?
I ate it. But
If you didn't have that cheese that came and it already had the mold on it, then you weren't eating the
With
right
a block.
cheese. With a block. It had a burn on top of it. You just scrape that off.
Those are the best grilled
Cut that up, put some on some crackers.
Those are the best grilled cheese.
Yeah. I told you.
We didn't know any better. We didn't know it was wrong. One right. It was
DeMarco said
cool.
fried with the ring.
Fried with the ring.
And DeMarco, you know how you burn the edges because it rolls to the top and you poke that hole in it and flip it below?
And then it's just sweat. When you put it on the bread, it's just sweat.
Yeah, so you get it and it's stuck at the roof of your mouth.
Y'all gonna go make some bologna sandwiches tonight.
And then you realize as you got older, I got cancer. We got to go. I got what? It's like, come on. You mean all my hog and cheese, all my big feet, all my accent?
Hey, hold on.
It wasn't good for me. My blood pressure.
ahead. I just was
sugar?
like, no,
No,
thank
what you
you.
did, you upgraded when you got into high school. You saved your money for a bolo sandwich at the store.
Yo, bolo, yeah, we want that bolo.
It's thick as bologna with cheese. And they fix it for you at school with the little
Bolo.
I
Ooh,
love
that was life. That was life. That was good living. That was good living right there, young people. That was good living, young people.
School was that pizza and that
Y'all got
corn.
a hush on y'all panel.
No, they do not.
Yes, Danita.
She said we have groceries.
That's Vanessa.
She said if we had nothing else, we had the groceries.
Yeah, that's Vanessa.
That was some food.
We just try to go from house to house to try to make a meal.
No.
She had groceries. We had stamps. We had
You know what I'm saying?
take it out and tear it out. And then you got to put one in your pocket because you embarrassed. So when you pull it out, you. She had groceries. We had stamps.
Y'all tripping. By any means. No.
No.
Denise.
No. None of that.
By
We
no
had
means.
food and that's
He
it.
said sandwich with the
Fritos.
Fritos.
See, or the Doritos, you put the chips on there.
Oh, I did Doritos and Cheetos. With Prince
That's too
Ham.
much.
Cheetos with Prince Ham.
You know what? Oh, we playing hot on the spot
Yeah, you
today.
ready?
Yeah, we're ready for hot on the spot.
Okay, y'all.
No cheese like government cheese. Just don't try to make nachos is what DeMarco said.
For the group.
It's time for our hot on the spot. We do this at the end of every show. We have questions here in the box, and each hostess is responsible.
They go to the people too. You listen.
So y'all can respond too. So once we read
Oh,
it, you
I'm
can type
sorry.
in and respond.
Y'all wondering what we're doing. Mr. Willis is back here producing
Yes.
us today. And he talking about the listeners too.
So right, we will pick one of the questions out of the box. We have no clue what it is. We read it and we answer that question.
Like you said, first.
And you, as the viewer, listener, provide your feedback as well.
All right, my question is, which is the one word in my vocabulary that I use excessively?
Uh-oh. Glad I didn't get that one.
Wow.
Do you want to share it? You don't really want to share it.
I might not need to share that one.
Transparency.
Nobody needs to know I say that.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Okay, Denise.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I have a saying or a word that I use excessively. That's me. I mean, I'm sure my people that I'm in groups with get tired of my good morning sunshine at 5 o'clock in the morning when they still might be sleeping.
Ma'am, 3:45.
Yeah, 3:45.
Not 5.
Whatever time I
3:45.
wake up.
And then I hit you at 4.
So your one word is ching, because that's what it sounds like when they come on. Who's up at 3:45 in the morning saying they're going to the gym? Oh, it's Danita.
I'm like, I don't know. I think that my whole good morning message might be but I don't know a word excessively.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
kid would have to answer that.
Make sure.
If you, oh Lord.
Oh.
If you could play doctor or nurse with some celebrity, who would it be? Oh.
If you could play doctor or nurse with a celebrity, who would it be?
Yeah, I gotta go back. See, I can speak from the intelligent side of my brain, but I'm just gonna speak from the lustful side of my brain.
that's what the question is all
That's
about.
what it's all about. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's gonna be my old school crush. It's gonna be Blair Underwood. If he's listening, black don't crack. But I'll be your nurse anytime. Geritol, Bengay, whatever you need. We'll make sure that you are fully available to be seen on the big screen. This.
You sound like me.
DeMarco want to know, is this a family show?
After 9 o'clock, the children should be in bed.
They on bed.
You can't give it back.
You can get that.
I didn't, y'all.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't get that.
Have you ever had a secret crush on any of your teachers or friends, and have they ever got to know about it? No, they're not gonna know about it now. They might be listening.
So whoever is
Renee had a crush on you.
What can
T's teacher.
What can
Oh,
teacher?
It's
I ain't gonna-
a teacher.
Teacher or
Teacher that had a crush on
Milton
me.
said my wife. That good answer.
good answer, Milton. Good answer.
What's wrong, Tawanika?
I can see a
I
teacher
don't
that had a
want
crush on
this.
me. I can't say his name.
I don't want this.
No, no.
You know who it is.
Why you don't want
I don't want this.
Okay.
Shout out to the Florida Cowboys of 1996,
1996.
class of the whites.
I'm asking, is he living or dead?
He's alive. He's still
Your
dead
teacher?
alive. Yeah.
He went to Carter.
Yeah.
That's all y'all
Let me run down the Rolodex.
Yeah, I told you.
Okay, so here's my question. Has anyone ever broke your heart? How long did it take to get over it? Oh, that's funny. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, my heart has been broken. Maybe for a split second. What did you say? Yeah, sip your tea.
I think it's like, sorry we missed our sitting while we spilling, but we're doing it now.
Hold on. Let me see. If I gotta think about it, then apparently it ain't been. No, it has. But how long did it take to get over it? Y'all, I can't answer that one because I just keep moving. I mean, I might cry a tear and then I keep moving. Because I don't go
Okay,
through
so
it.
pause. If you go back to it, it counts. Now answer the question.
You know what? I can't stand you today. Oh, I don't like you. I guess that's what you call it. I don't know. Cause okay, so in all seriousness, what?
He said you got an icebox where your heart used to be. Here's why we talking
You know,
about
like whatever. Y'all, I think I did. I mean, I don't. You know what? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I
so
did.
hot on the spot.
You know what?
Hot on the spot in a minute.
I just thought about what you said. I just thought about what you said.
Exactly.
I can't stand you.
Willie said, "You know she knows."
Exactly. Is that all we have? You just put back in the box?
Yes.
We're done.
No, we got
one
the
more.
last
There you
group
go.
question.
Okay, so the group. What's your What's your routine every night just before you go to bed?
My routine is very, very simple because I'm usually coming in, going to bed.
Okay.
And so I'm coming in, and it's very good. I'm undressing and I'm getting into bed. Turning
No.
off the TV, turning off the light, and depending on how tired I am, the phone is turned off too. So it's there's no. I come in. I'm not doing a whole lot of anything in the house because if it didn't get done before I left in the morning, 10 times out of 10 it's probably not going to get done at night because I'm a morning person. I'm coming straight in usually and going straight to bed. Now if it's earlier, the routine may change a little bit.
You are early. What are you talking about?
Y'all, it's Danita's bedtime now. That's why we laughing.
Like, she doing it right now. That's what's happening.
Well, I'm just saying if it's before 9 o'clock.
Back to my question, Tamika said, she said, I'm a nurse for a living, but would love to nurse Ralph Angel from Queen Sugar.
Ooh.
Yeah, Idris Elba, it's just...
My chestnut still does.
So, what's your routine every night before you go to bed?
My routine, I take my shower, but honestly, it sounds corny, no, but really, when I get into bed, I am reflective of my day. That's exactly what I'm thinking about, processing what I said, how I said it, and sometimes it annoys me because some things I probably said, sometimes you probably shouldn't have said it, or you probably could say it some better way. I'm reflective on that, and that's what I go back to sleep with. So one of the things I said when I went to work, I was like, okay, maybe, the fussing, I guess, if you want to say that. But I just said, today I'm just going to step back and be a little more observant versus speaking for today, and that's what I did. And so it's one of those things of how do you do the self-work, because you don't ever want to be put in a box as to this is how you always are. So I'm always being reflective, and somewhere in between that, I'm out of there.
I kind of do that same thing as well. I know at night I'll be tired and drained, but it's hard for me to stop my mind from running, going through the day, kind of what I should have done. Why didn't I tell them this? Because they talked to me this way. Why didn't I tell them this? And just things I could have done better in the day. But I usually wash my face with Noxzema. I take a shower, and then I'm usually laying there, sometimes watching TV, sometimes listening to, I have to have something on. It's either TV or I have some nature sounds on if I really just need to, some soft music or something. That's my nightly routine.
Tap dancing.
That's for real.
Okay, so my nightly routine is before I go to bed, I check all the doors and all the window locks, make sure that they're done. And then I go in my room, I take all the pillows off my bed because I have an abundance of them, put them on the side of my bed. I get in the bed. Y'all know, of course, I don't miss that bathtub. But I get in the bed, and then I turn the TV on channel, for those who have Spectrum TV, I turn it on channel 123. Hallmark channel.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then I lay in the bed, and then, like everyone else, my head is always going because it's always stuff that I can do. And I don't lay down until about 10, and I'm back up at 3 consistently. But I start counting down. I do 10, 9, 8. By 6, I'm asleep. And it works. So that's what we do before that's what I do before. Oh, Willie said sex and then sleep, but it's just sleep now.
What changed things for you, Willie? Should I ask?
Okay.
And then Milton said routine. I'll pass on that one too.
I also pray before I go to sleep too. I don't want to leave that out.
Someone said they pray, but yeah, someone said that.
Who said? Oh,
I can't remember, but someone
Milton,
said.
I pray for direction in my marriage and our nation.
But y'all, we really, are we doing something else?
Well, no, we're just going to go into the wrap up.
In all seriousness, guys, we really want to thank all of you who tune in. We hope that this is like a Monday stress reliever, a wind down for you. But at the same time that you walk away with something that you can meditate on and that you can chew on, and that there are nuggets that are said tonight that you can walk away with. So we appreciate you. Shout out to all the men and ladies who participated tonight. DeMarco, thank you so much. We thank you all for your words of encouragement to keep us going. It's very different, because you all get to see us and it's live. It's not recorded, so it's very different. But we really appreciate it. We thank you. In the next few months, you'll actually be, we'll be letting you know where we're out on the streets. I'm sorry, let me correct that. Where we're out at facilities, not in the streets. But we'll be out. And we're gonna try to patronize businesses. So if there's a business that you know, please let us know. And we hope that you all can come to meet us in person. But also we'll actually sit there and we'll actually sip and say while we're there, just to have dialogue. So we are about to embark on getting into the community. We're about to have hosts on the show. So there's a lot coming forward, coming forth in the near future. So. We thank you all. We love you. We appreciate everything you'll do. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're kind of like the first and the third. Daddy, we the first and the third Monday. So, that's true. Your visitation. You can come visit with us on the first and the third Monday from 7 to 9.
And if you miss any shows, you can catch us on our Facebook page or tune in to Power TV on PowerPlayRadioNetwork.com and just click on My Sister's Keeper, and you can tune into any of our past shows as well. Our next show on October 16th, our next show on October 16th, we're going to dive into domestic violence. And we're really going to talk in depth because not only is this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's also Domestic Violence Month. And so we want to talk about domestic violence prevention and awareness. We have our sister show host, Ms. Wanda McKinley. She's going to join us during our show. She has a show called We Are Survivors right here on Power Play Radio, and they air on the first and third Fridays as well. So you can check out We Are Survivors, but we look forward to talking with her because, again, domestic violence is a growing epidemic that a lot of women have, and men who have put themselves in situations where they don't feel they can get away from it, or their heart is telling them to do something more so than their body is telling them to leave. So we really want to talk about that on our next show. So we encourage you to tune in. We also want to pray for the people and the family who lost their lives in Vegas last night. It is an extreme tragedy. So again, more reasons why prayer is needed. As we leave tonight, we also would like to give our prayers to the third owner of Power Play Radio, and that's Mr. Jesse Vaughn, as he's going in for his kidney transplant on October 6th. So if you would put him on your prayer list and keep him lifted up as well, because he's 1/3 of what keeps everything going here. So we would definitely pay tribute to him and keep him in prayers. So in closing, our mantra. To my sister, sometimes you have to forget how you feel and remember what you deserve. You are my keeper, and know that I'm yours first. So straighten your crown and never be afraid to stand out. Inhale confidence, exhale doubt.
Y'all see Danita sleep.
Until next time, Queen, we are my sister's keeper. SiSSTA'S. Yes. Speak life into someone so they achieve success. Oh, real quick, we had a training here at Power Play Radio, and we spoke about, the importance of, basically promoting our shows and making sure that advertisers are able to air during our times. As you can see, we had times where if you have a business or you are an entrepreneur or if you know someone, again, small business owners, we need you. Use our platform to advertise your business. So if you are wanting to find out more information, please hit us up on our Facebook page, or you can email us at SiSSTa'S@gmail.com. That's SiSSTA'S keeper, KEEPER @gmail.com. Sister's Keeper. You can see our My Sister's Keeper on our Facebook page. But we have advertising that is available to you. It is affordable, and I promise you, as you can see tonight, people come, and so therefore people will be able to view your businesses. And why not promote yourself? Know your worth, then add tax. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure and honor. We look forward to seeing you on October 16th, every first and third Mondays. You have just tuned in with My Sister's Keeper. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.